Friends, thank you. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Namaste Experience. Take a deep breath with me, won't you? Now, would you take a deep breath for me? That's what we do for each other. I'm Reverend Penny Honey for those who just might not know. We welcome all of our Zoom folks. Thank you for being with us. And those, of course, who are joining us on YouTube. And even if you're here today, you can go back and take a little peek at those YouTubes. Because if you walk up to me and ask me, do you remember when you said, I'll go, no. I give a lot of permission in that, I think. And it is about being in the now moment. It's about experiencing the moment that we're in. So truly, many times things move through us, don't they? And and they drop in. And when somebody asks us to repeat that or to come back to that, we have the essence of it, but we may not have the exact words. Sometimes I'm in resistance to remembering some of those things, even the wisdom at times, because it surely would get in my way if I didn't want to be really enlightened in a given moment. It serves me sometimes to not always be able to reach back and remember all those wise words, are so wise as I may see in the moment that I've shared. Those experiences that we've lived in our lives that have caused us sometimes to put up a wall or two, to push back against the good that there may be in it for us. Now, I, again, as I say often, know that there's no one in this room or the Zoom room or that watch us on YouTube that would ever do that. Be in resistance to our good, or be in opposition or in conflict for the sake of being right. Right. I noticed that right and the word resistance both start with the same letter. R. And all of that before you even leave your casas, right? All of that before you have your first cup of tea. All of that in our humanness, the showing up and the great resistance. Why do people resist their good? No, I'm asking you. Why do people resist their good? Fear. How about I don't deserve it? How about I'm just used to it being this way? I like it this way, even if I don't like it. I like to know what this way is. I like to recognize my own patterns, even if those patterns are causing me suffering. So James, did a big move, had a late evening. He sent me a text message, Vicki and I a text message. He said, I'm going to step out this morning. He said, I have some words I'd like to share with you about where I'd like to take off tomorrow and where we could spin from and teach from. And these are some of those words. He said this, he said, humans believe in opposites: heaven, hell, right, wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Oh, wait, no, he didn't say that part. Because James's theory on that was that because we know that we're in opposition to the way of love, because love is just too darn easy. It's just everywhere. And I don't know about you, James didn't say this, but I don't know about you. But I grew up in a consciousness that if you didn't break a sweat, you didn't earn it. If it wasn't just a little bit difficult, you probably weren't doing it right, right? And James reminds us when he says, for some reason, there was a choice made to turn away from the simple choice of love. I think the answer to that is in the statement that he made. It's just too simple. We are very complex beings. We have a lot of computing power. We have a lot of creativity. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I get in my own way with all of that good thinking. There are programs that call it stinking thinking, right? For some reason, a choice is made to turn away from the simple choice of love. And in that, James shared that we create an impossibility that the core of our being has never forgotten. The truth of who we are has never forgotten that we are love at the core of who we are. And this opposition that we create this contrast that we create, it makes us feel a little alive, doesn't it? I mean, who couldn't use a little drama in their life? Oh, come on. Come on. Who couldn't use a little drama in their life? We create that. We create that because that seems like that would take more brain power. That requires more of us. Love is so very, very simple, isn't it? Choosing it seems so uncomplicated. Maybe not exciting enough for all this mental capacity that we have. Maybe that's what it's about. And the mind gets comfortable with those patterns, doesn't it? And then fear has the opportunity to say, hey, what if you lose? What if you don't get yours? What if there isn't enough? And we cling to those familiar customs and those ways of being. You know, in the Course in Miracles, it says that you are afraid of God's love because you think you will lose yourself in it. Yet yourself is what you will find in that love. See, we get into these patterns of illusion and expectations, and we allow ourselves to prevent us from being present to now. I love what Byron Katie says, and sometimes it fits in a room like this. If I'm over there in your stuff, who's over here? Mind and mine. See, if I'm over there looking at the opposition and seeing what's different and what doesn't match, I don't have to look here to see how I'm creating that in my own life. We fall into these patterns of creating illusion, don't we? Confusion, separation. Somehow we got the message or had some crazy idea that we were safer to be separated. It's kind of primordial, I think, because we're built to survive. And somewhere along the way, we heard that if I don't protect myself against all the illusion that I have built, my life won't be safe. I might not be able to be who I think I want to be, as opposed to allowing my life to speak, to allow the true nature of who I am. Those patterns are easy to get comfortable with, no matter how uncomfortable they are. Why do we resist our good? I want you to sit for just a moment I want you just to consider one little thing in your life that's kind of going like this right now. Hey, hey, look over here. I've got some good for you. Hey, hey, do you have one? I've got a list if you need one. Do you have one? Sit with that for a moment. Can you hear it? And can you hear how patient the universe is with you, with me, with us? Just wanting us to step in and recognize the love that we are and that we are surrounded by. Do you hear it? Come on, listen. Do you hear it in your life? We resist our good because we doubt our worth. We resist our good because we mistake comfort for safety. We resist our good because love feels too vast for me to control. Therefore, I resist it. Could these tactics of resisting your own good flow into your relationships, with your family, with your children? How do you like the holidays? What does that bring up for you? Could these tactics of resisting your good be blocking the love that is all around you? I just think the only answer is yes. And this is the thing. The truth is that our good has never left us. See, that it's always been there. It's how we have built our defenses against it. And as the Course in Miracles reminds us, there's nothing to defend. Doesn't mean you don't take a stand, but can you take a stand in truth rather than a stand in fear? Can you do that today? I have a little story about a couple of farmers. Big surprise. So the first farmer, he spent his days dividing his land into the good crops and the bad weeds. And he built fences and he argued with the soil and he fought the seasons. And he believed that life was a battle of opposites. Heaven and hell, gain and loss, good and bad. And the farmer down the road, well, he did something a little different. He planted seeds everywhere. He didn't divide any of the land. He trusted the soil. He trusted the rain and the sun would do their jobs. He believed that there was only one force that made it all happen, and that was love. So over time, the first farmer got pretty tired. Do you get tired when you're building fences and walls? When you're worrying about the weeds and everybody else's life? I don't know about you, but I get tired. And this farmer got tired. And he looked across down the road and he noticed that this farmer, the second farmer, his field was full. The wildflowers among the grain, the fruit trees that were shading the beans, the birds that were singing in the branches. First farmer rolls his eyes. How did that happen? He says. And the second farmer just smiles. He says, well, you know what? I stopped fighting. He said, I remembered the goodness in the soil. I remembered that the only thing the seed wants to do is grow. And I let it, as Miss Vicky will always remind us. Love everything today. Let it. And I chose to plant now rather than later when it might be better conditions, or I might have more control, or I might think I've figured something out. Anybody? Happiness is not in another place, but it's in this place. And it's not for another hour, but it's for this hour, said Walt Whitman. So the villagers saw that the second farmer's field was more than just a farm. It was a vessel, a place where everyone could gather and be fed and be reminded that love was never absent, that the resistance was not required in order to flourish. Quit wrestling with the opposites. The fences that you're building are closing off the field of love. The resistance causes us to suffer. My brothers were wrestlers in high school. They were good wrestlers. My dad said that I taught them everything they knew. There was a hold in wrestling called the chicken wing, and my brother had an opponent that always used the chicken wing and pinned him every time. And finally, a coach said, let's try something different. Let's roll with that chicken wing. When he takes your arm and puts it behind you like that, let's roll into it. Let's go with it. And let's see where it goes. And after a few tries, what we learned was the leverage was already to his advantage. Love is already here. It's just pushing you right over that edge into the infinite expression of who you are. Get out of the chicken wing. Roll with it, folks. Let the leverage of love carry you. Stop resisting. Just stop it. Right? Just stop it. I don't know about all that, but I can tell you this. My brother was a state championship wrestler when he learned to roll with it. Try to accept the changing seasons of your soul because spring is already on its way, said Rumi. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists, we are told in the Course in Miracles. I think it's in the chicken wing move. I think it's in the roll. Herein lies the peace of God. Miss Vicky, what do you have to say to that?
Oh, Miss Penny, I just say thank you. Those are wonderful examples, and they're so much fun. Soon as you start with a story, you get all our attention. And I love the chicken wing. Just roll with it. Let it be what it is, because when we apply that wand of love, it rolls into something that makes us all champions and move out of opposites into one reality. So thank you, Reverend Penny. That was wonderful. I had a dramatic example of living this morning. A very good little example I shared with some of you in the prayer time because humans, that's what Jimmy wrote. Humans believe in opposites. That means the ego believes in opposites because the ego is a set of pretending to be opposite of God. So we have opposites here, good and bad. And the laying down of opposites is what defenselessness is. It's what rolling with it is. When we roll with things instead of defend or make boundaries, we let love in to come and resolve things from a higher perspective, from a higher level, a higher frequency. So that's why love is also very practical. So what happened this morning was this was so perfect for this reading, and I read this after this happened. I was picking up someone at the airport, and they had said, "I'm coming in on the 11th. I arrive at 5 a.m." So I was, which is very early. I had to get up at 4 a.m., get to the airport, and I'm there. I get up at 4. It's dark. There are deer. I have to be careful. I don't like driving in the dark. I'm like already, a little defensive. And so I get to the airport and I send a text, "Where are you? I'm here. I'm here. I'm at the terminal. I'm at this pickup spot." And finally I get an answer. "Oh, I leave on the 11th. I arrive on the 12th and tomorrow." So I got, oh no, talk about mad. It was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Not once did you mention the 12th. And so I had to take to my bed in the car. I was pulled over because I was in the pickup zone. And I'm like, are you kidding? That's the last thing I want to do is get up that early and drive in the dark. And I was steaming because I believed in opposites. And what's the opposite? I'm right. How could you not tell me I arrived the 12th? Where are you? No, never mind. Well, I could have checked the flight. I could have done, and Doreen reminded me, I could have checked myself. And but did I? No, I just said I'll meet you there. And so I'm stewing a moment. And as I'm sitting there and I say, okay, I've stewed enough, I got to drive home. So I drive home. And this is what finally occurred to me, which is perfect for what Jimmy says in this. If we live in the world of opposites, we've declared that we're separate from God. It's that simple. And that we want it our way and we'd rather be right. I just wanted to be right. I wanted her to apologize and say, "Oh, I made a mistake." Not, "Oh, I said whatever." I wanted to be right. And the way love works is love doesn't have an opposite. It's like the field of flowers and fruit and grains all growing together. There's no opposite. There's communion, there's joining and flourishing, there's being and giving. There's a fruition of love that just abounds and blesses everyone. There's a letting of everyone be. And love without opposite is one of the lines Jesus uses a lot. If you read the Course in Miracles, he uses joy without opposite and love without opposite. And what that is a state of heaven. And that state is accessible when we make that decision. No, I'm not an ego separate from God. I'm really a soul and I live in a state of true love. And true love is my operating system. I will let that higher operating system resolve whatever is here in time. And finally, while I was driving home, I said, and this is practical, I said, where do I want to live? Do I want to stay living in hell and be right and have a conversation? Luckily, I knew not to say anything. I did not respond with a word. Thank God. Because as soon as you bite the bait and you try to be right and you try to prove a point, boy, talk about a rabbit hole. It's like, bam, you're down in the rabbit hole. So I, at least in my insanity, knew say nothing. Just be quiet and stew. Don't, take to your bed right here in the car. Just don't add to it. So I did know that. So that's why I say that to you because it's more efficient when you're insane, temporarily insane. Pull out your magic wand. Remember, love is the solution. And without opposite is the state of what love is. And let the soul that lives in love be your residence. I decided, nope, I don't want to live in this world of insanity and craziness and being right. Although the pull to be right is very strong to an ego thinking mind. It's like a magnet. It pulls you. You can be right here. Forget that. I want to be happy. I really want to be happy. And as soon as I said, I don't want to live in hell anymore, I'm just going to recognize that I live in heaven and none of this is so. See, for me, that's the bottom line to correct a situation. None of it is so. The cause of my upset is a situation that has really no reality. It has a seeming reality of time and space, but I belong to a real reality of soul and spirit that also can operate here in time if I identify and I move into, reside, locate myself only in that reality that has no opposite. And as soon as I did that, it did lift. This is the miracle of this stuff. It lifted off my shoulders, off my everything. It just lifted. And wait a minute, that's Kathy. Kathy Reese, some of you know, who's used to be here all the time, is on the phone listening. So when we make a choice for which reality do I want to live in? Do I want to live in the reality of the ego and insanity and efforting and defenses and being right? Or do I want to live in heaven and let the outcome be what it may? And that was the choice that we're always given in every situation. And I did that choice and I meant it. You have to mean it. And it did, it lifted. And before I got home, I was laughing, saying, oh God, I guess I was meant to get up in the morning and drive and do a practice run on how to get to the airport. And it's an example that I offer to you today because it really helped me this morning. And it's solved at the cause level, not the effect level. And the wand is the wand of unconditional love that has no opposite. Love has no opposite. And love, we are the ones that are bringing into time how love operates through us in time. What Francis said, make me an instrument of your peace. Peace has no opposite. Thank you, Reverend Penny, and thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like to be, I don't know if I'm on or not here, but I like this quote from Course in Miracles, Vicki, as you remind us about love and moving to that. And thank you for giving us all permission to be human. I appreciate that. A trip to the airport at that time of day, right? But this is the deal. Love holds no grievances. And that means even against us when we resist. The universe just stands, all encompassing, present to us so that we might be present to it. At our own doing. And when I love what I'm experiencing, I like remembering that. And when I don't like what I'm experiencing, I need to remember that. The time is now as it always has been. See, it is in the collective and the individual acceptance and the willingness to be brave enough and courageous enough to not resist, to roll into it. Therein lies, and herein lies the peace of God. The resistance to what has always been is present should we choose. And the love that surrounds us, enfolds us, omnipresent, omnipotent, knows how to embrace anything you can throw at it. Love's got it figured out. No resistance today. Well, let's say less resistance today. And allow ourselves, L-E-T, love everything today. Let. It's my honor to be with you. We'll see James tomorrow, I believe, and Vicki, and I'll be back. We'll do a little wrap up. And to that we say, Amen, 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 Ye Udo. Namaste, my friends.